Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Fox298 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we are here for our next episode of our F1 2019 career modes here for the Belgian Grand Prix. And as you can see, first things first, we've got all of our upgrades actually arrived here for Belgium. So we've got a major engine upgrade, a chassis weight reduction upgrade, and a front downforce upgrade for the aerodynamic department. So a great haul of upgrades here for the Belgian Grand Prix as we try and make as much as we possibly can before, of course, we go off to the likes of Italy and then Singapore, where we expect to see a regulation change. That's where it normally happens in Singapore. So if we have one there, obviously I don't want to make any further upgrades too much now, just in case something comes to Singapore. But as you can see in the engine department now, we have now got the third best engine on the grid, which is something that I'm taking into consideration as we now head obviously towards Singapore and the latter stage of the season. And obviously in terms of the aerodynamics, you can see here that we've got a lot of bits that we can still work on and move from there. Once again, I say this pretty much, I've probably said this for the last God knows how many videos, but it's because I'm recording them all on like the same day. Again, man's window's open, man's balls are sweaty, so shush. So, as you can see then, we are the fourth fastest team now, and we're closing up actually to the top lot. Getting into qualifying though, Q1 not going to start off too well for us, unfortunately. We've got a braking system fault, so that's going to leave us out for nearly 7.5 minutes that was. So, yeah, really long time there, and I'm kind of surprised that the game actually leaves me in the garage for 7.5 minutes, but that's all we can do. So we do set a lap nonetheless, though, but it was only good enough for P16. Funnily enough, actually, my pace around here in qualifying simulation runs was really poor, actually. As we come across the start line, then we're going to try again on a second run, and this time it is actually much better. It's half seconds up. That should get us into Q2, but it was only just, actually. It's P14, so still not a good job there from myself. Really need to try and pick it up if I'm going to try and perform better in the next few races. Looking though at things though, Devon Ballsack there coming in with the fastest lap from out of nowhere with Vettel ahead of Carlos, and then we've got the two Red Bulls there. So yeah, Devon in the sport, sport pays Carlos Ballsack Racing Point Formula 1 team is right there. Thank you very much, Sam, for giving me that. Moving on though into Q2, then we go in towards the final chicane here. I decided to go for only one run because I wouldn't have that many soft compound tyres available to me. So to come across the line though, we go across. Can we get ourselves into Q3 though? No, it's P14 unfortunately, so we've been knocked out in Q2, so we are not going to make it into the third part of qualifying, and unfortunately for me, Lando Norris does make it into the third part of qualifying, and both of the Sport Pacer, Carlos Ballsack Racing Point Formula 1 teams do make it into that Q3 session. So that's a little bit annoying for us, but it is what it is. We're going to start P14 with just in front of Lucas Weber. You can see that I was 1.8 off pole and then Lucas was 2.4 off. So it's quite a big margin there, but we do manage to beat Lando Norris in the rivalry for the second time, which is good for us. So there's some positives to take out of that one there. But as you can see, it is only going to be P14 on the grids. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. So you can see the rivalry run, and we get a couple of resource points as well in that, and up to 600 now resource points with me trying to build my reputation back up with McLaren, because I'm going to need a better contract, because mine at the moment, unfortunately, has been compromised.
Who doesn't love the Belgian Grand Prix? It's the race, of course, that gave maiden pole positions to the Jordan and Force India teams, with Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella respectively. Jordan, of course, would then go on to better that here in 1998 with their first ever victory. And you can guarantee that something special will always happen at Spa-Francorchamps. But what that something is today is anybody's guess. Spa-Francorchamps then, a 4.35 mile tour of the Ardennes countryside with 9 right corners and 10 left corners, giving us a grand total of 19. Average lap speeds in the dry can reach about 145 miles per hour, but without a significant improvement in these conditions, we won't be seeing anything like that today. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Hamilton, Pierre Gasly and Verstappen, Sainz, Butler, Norris and Kevin Magnussen, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Thomas and Perez, Weber, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell. Albon and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright, so as you can see then on the grids here for the Belgian Grand Prix, it's going to actually start off in the intermediate conditions, but it's not going to last very long before we get into some dry weather then. So on the grid now, as you can see, we're lining up on the grid now. We've got 4, now 5 red lights here for the start of this Belgian Grand Prix, and it is lights out. Away we go here to the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. It's been a bad start for Bottas in second place there, as Charles Leclerc tries to go through on the outside in towards last source we go. Speaking of us though, going in towards last source, we're trying to attack the 2 Haas cars of Magnussen and Grosjean, who gets shoved off the track there quite aggressively now as we just blast our way down the hill here up towards Eau Rouge and then Radion. You can see here that we're attacking Carlos, I think it's Carlos, in the racing points. We just drift our way up Radion there and now onto the Camel straight here, really trying to get the back end out there, but we do manage to make the place up here, and it is Carlos as he now tries to attack us here on the Camel straight up towards Lecom. As you can see, we're trying to use all the engine modes that we've got in our power there, and that racing point car still really nippy in a straight line. As for us though, we do manage to survive that attack there, and we move up the grid now, and I believe it's actually a Red Bull that's in front of us now. As you can see here, Bottas sliding the back end of that car as he tries to get past Sebastian Vettel. So both the Ferraris of Vettel and Charles Leclerc have overtaken Bottas in the first lap here. So the Finnish driver is going backwards in this race. As you can see here, Vettel now is going to use the power of the Ferrari car, which is much better than the Mercedes in my career mode, I think, because they still haven't released the patch yet, which should make Ferrari faster in a straight line. But as you can see, for us though, we're trying to look back, and yeah, we are behind one of the Red Bulls of Verstappen now, so interesting stuff there as we now close up onto Verstappen, having a little look here, just trying to find some different lines that might just suit my car. And whilst we're obviously in the intermediate conditions, I'm going to try and make use of that as we go down the inside there on Verstappen. A little bit of contact made, but nothing too serious there. But as you can see, like I was just about to say, as we exit Stavolo corner here, whilst we are in the intermediate conditions, this is my best opportunity to make up places because I am faster in the wet than the AIs. In fact, to be honest, anyone out there that's racing will be faster than the AIs in the wet. They're really poor, if I'm honest, as we now blast our way through Blanchemont and now up towards the bus stop chicane here, where we're going to try and catch up to that Racing Point car, and it is Devon Bullsack then that is next on our hit list. So as you can see here now, we've got Lando Norris then just in front as well, but good start for us though. We've made up a lot of places off the line, and we're not done yet though, because we're in a range here to attack Devon now as we go in towards La Source here, going down the inside of La Source on Devon Bullsack, making the move stick there, and that is us up now into what I think is 7th place. Yeah, it is. So we're now up into 7th. On to the end of lap 2 now. As you can see, we're catching up to Lando Norris. We've actually got a lot more speed than Lando as the 2 Ferraris pull away clear out front. Meanwhile, we're still fighting our teammate here. And through Blanchemont, you can see here that we've got more pace, and we just can't use it as the back end slides out there as we have to get off the throttle, but we brake later in towards the chicane here. I think Lando made a mistake actually, because we're already through by the first part of the chicane, and as you can see there, that is us up now into 6th place as Vettel sets a new fastest lap as he hunts down Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, for us though, we are 2.1 seconds behind Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull. So we're going to see if we try and close that gap to him. And on to the end of lap 4, or sorry, onto lap 4 of the Grand Prix. That's what we have done. In fact, we've closed up to Gasly, Hamilton and Bottas in the space of that time period. The 2 Ferraris though continue to pull away in this race, with Vettel and Leclerc definitely having a good scrap out front as we get towards Pouin here and attack Gasly with just no real way to go here. But now, as you can see, we're just trying to feather the throttle through. And now around the outside, so we're going to go to the inside, sorry. Really big dive bomb there from myself. It's not paid off, though, because Gasly's still there, though. But he just compromised a little bit flustered, actually, by our attack, as we now go towards the outside line here. And Gasly gives me a little bit of a shove wide, but we just about hold it on in there and make the move on Pierre. And that's just before the pit stops, because on this lap, as you can see, we are going to come in for the dry tyres now. It is already at that point of the crossover between getting onto the dry tyres, and that's what we're going to do here. But crucially, the 2 Ferraris up front are scrapping quite hard. The 2 Mercedes cars are scrapping as well, and it looks like they're either going to stay out and cost a lot of time in this race, or they're going to double stack. So the Ferraris, they're double stacking. Mercedes, double stacking. So they're going to lose time no matter what, which means in effectiveness, we should jump Vettel and Hamilton in the pit stops, it all being, because, well, they're double stacking. So it's not going to work out in their favour. As Verstappen there's Hamilton getting double stacked. Verstappen stays out on his intermediate tyres, which is not a good call. He's going to lose out on some time. We're probably going to lose a little bit of time here to other cars coming in, and it was only to Valtteri Bottas. So that's good for us. We managed to only lose out in terms of time to Bottas. We've not lost out to any of the cars behind, which means that in theory we're in a good position, and that means as well we have jumped Lewis Hamilton and we have jumped Sebastian Vettel in this race. Probably going to catch us up later in the Grand Prix, but that's fine. We're in a good position right now, and as we go up Eau Rouge and then towards Ranny on the top of the hill and down on the straight there, you can see here, still a little bit iffy on the straight as Albon has DRS here, and crucially, he's still out on the intermediate tyres, but I just don't actually have enough to keep up with Albon. He's still got that DRS active, so I did have to use overtake modes, I did have to use rich mix, but at the end of the day, in towards Lecom, it was no battle because he is on the intermediate tyres. There's nothing he can do to defend the position now, as we've got one of the Williams cars here. I think it's Robert Kubica, and we're going to go down the inside of Kubica and make the move stick. I haven't actually said Robert Kubica probably ever in my career mode. We're now having a look at Kimi Raikkonen into the corner with no name, which technically has a name, which is the corner of no name, but remember it's got no name. And we pass Raikkonen just before we get towards Pouin, and we're still on to the back of Bottas. Eventually, though, Bottas is going to pull away, but for the time being, let's see if we can try and keep up with him. But automatically, the grip is starting to come into play. You see Hamilton's just gone through Pouin as well, so he's not actually that far behind Hamilton, in fairness. I know he had to double stack, so he's lost time. And he's lost out to me, obviously. But as you can see here, Bottas, though, is stuck behind Hulkenberg in towards Stavelo corner here. Magnussen's also involved in this as well here, so this is not playing out into Bottas's favour. And it's going to play in our favour, though, because we boxed in Bottas, held up in towards Stavelo corner. We've passed Valtteri, and we've just got past Hulkenberg as well. Bottas now passes him as we now try to attack Magnussen in the Haas car as we go towards the outside line of Blanchimont corner, around the outside on the Haas car. Really good stuff there. And we get the position on Magnussen. Bottas has a look on the inside of us. He also passes K-Mag in a bit more of a boring fashion, going down the inside of a chicane. We did it around the outside of a high-speed corner, which I think is more cool. But on to lap 6 now in the Grand Prix. The gap between myself and Charles Leclerc is 5.7 seconds. The gap between myself and Bottas, just 9/10 of a second. And we're going to try and press onwards now and see what we can do. Later on into the lap of lap 6, where Bottas is unfortunately obviously pressurising us, which is to be expected, as obviously in that Mercedes car, he is much faster, as Hamilton and Vettel are battling one of the Racing Point cars, which is quite interesting here. But Bottas now gets a great run on the exit Stavelo corner. This might just be his best shot to try and get the overtake on instead. He's going to go towards the inside line of Blanchimont. Can we try and hold it around the outside here? Bottas pretty much confirming that one done, but we do go around the outside, stay and hold it side by side now in towards the bus stop chicane. We just about stay in front of Bottas here, go a little bit later on the brakes. Some great fighting there, but we stay in front of Valtteri Bottas. And as people may or may not know my career mode right now, yes, I know Bottas is faster in this Mercedes, but I'm not just gonna let them through. I'm gonna make them work for it. You know, if it costs me loads of time, oh well, that's my fault. As Vettel sets a new fastest lap for 1:49.3, which is 2 seconds quicker than me, so that's awkward. But as you can see now, this is at a stage of the race where I thought this position is probably no longer going to be mine, because we go up the hill now onto the Kemmel Straight here, and Bottas now has got slipstream and he's got DRS, and at this point this is when I decided not to fight him because he has DRS and there's no point at this stage. So that's when I knew that the fight was over, but going towards Blanchimont, no, we were side by side. I'm going to keep fighting you, but when you've got slipstream and DRS, is there really any point in holding him up for any longer? Not really, no. Moving on though to lap 9 of the Grand Prix now, and I actually managed to keep a very good gap between myself and Bottas. The pace was looking good, but I decided obviously the time is right to come in now for a second stop in the Grand Prix. I could have gone onto any tyre compound that I wanted to, because we started the race on intermediates, which means, as stated in the rules of Formula 1, as long as you, if you're in the wet conditions, you don't have to run both dry compounds. So we technically could have gone onto another set of softs or whatever, but I knew that the mediums would get me to the end of the Grand Prix, and they're still a really good race tyre. So I'm going to use the mediums, and I'm going to take those to the end of the race. That's the plan, and hopefully we can have some fun with that. And let's see where we try and rejoin in front of all this. We're just going to rejoin behind Sergio Perez, but crucially in front of that battle between Carlos, I think my teammates involved in that, and maybe a Haas car. Moving on though on to lap 12 of the Grand Prix. This is when the car started to come out of the pits, and crucially, this is something to note here. Bottas has just come into the pits for a fresh set of soft tyres. Hamilton has come out of the pits on a fresh set of soft tyres. Both Mercs are doing a completely different strategy, and in this stage of the race now, I was genuinely thinking to myself as Hamilton breezes past me here, I might have just made a bit of a mistake here. Everyone has switched to soft tyres in this second stint. I'm the only one that's gone to mediums, so yeah, I was really concerned in this phase of the race of have I just made a catastrophic strategical mistake because everyone's gone on soft tyres and I don't know if they could make it to the end of the race. So Hamilton sets a new fastest lap of 147.6. That's 2 seconds quicker than what I did, which is, again, quite embarrassing for myself. And we've got Vettel 5.3 behind, also on soft tyres. And I was predicting he'd probably get me around about lap 16. On lap 15, though, that's when he did close up to me here. But at some point in the Grand Prix, I was told that Vettel was going to has a mechanical problem. I just can't remember where it was. But as we go towards Blanchimont now, Vettel here is coming up towards the back of us now. And as we go in towards the bus stop chicane here, he brakes later than myself. More confident on the brakes here, but we do manage to hold on the position. And like I said, as it wasn't going to cost me any time being side by side at that point with Vettel, I'm just going to keep fighting it. So that's how it kind of goes. I'm trying to hear if Jeff is talking about Vettel having a problem. Don't really know. Anyway, now we're on to lap 16 of the Grand Prix, and this is where it's going to turn out to be quite bad for us here, because as you can see now, we go up Eau Rouge now, and Vettel is going to have DRS on the Camel Straight, which is basically just going to allow that Ferrari to absolutely breeze past my McLaren. Yeah, I'm going to do what I can to hold on to the position here, using medium in terms of all my mixtures. This is when I knew Vettel had an issue, because look, he's only just closing up to the back of me here, and I broke a lot. I didn't even break that late compared to what Vettel did, and I knew straight away from this point onwards he did have a problem. As you can see, look, for moving on to the end of the lap, you can see Vettel now has already dropped off the back of me, so that was critical. But look at that though, coming into the pits here, Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes car is coming in for another stop in this race. So those soft tyres that he put on, they couldn't go to the end of the race. Bottas now is 10 seconds clear, and will he have to stop? He does. So does Charles Leclerc as well. So the soft tyres, I thought they could go to the end of the race on a set of softs. They couldn't. So our medium tyres, I can go to the end of the race. I am now in a net P2 because of my race strategy, and Bottas now is going to be behind, or just about slotted in front of Max Verstappen, who needs to stop again. On the end of lap 19 now, to start what is coming towards start of lap 20, Bottas here now makes a good run here towards Blanchimont corner, gets the position there. Charles Leclerc with the new fastest lap here. But for myself though, this is a fight now for position, and you know what? Let's go and see what we can do against these front runners. Let's see if they can pass us. We dive it down the inside of Bottas in towards the bus stop chicane. Open up the DRS now using a rich mixture. We've dropped that back down again. 8 tenths of the gap between myself and Bottas. 15.2 seconds. That gap between myself and Charles Leclerc. Like I said, I'm not fighting Charles. I'm fighting Bottas now till the end of the race, and yeah, I'm gonna go for it. So here we go then. On lap 20 of the Grand Prix now, going through the corner with no name. Bottas gets a great exit here, and as you can see, I'm in low ERS mode. I'm actually trying to save a bit of battery here. Bottas though doesn't care that I'm saving the battery, literally drifting it through Pouon now, but we fend off the position against Valtteri for another time, and that might just give us the freedom that we need towards Blanchimont to not be under attack from Bottas here. But as you can see, going through here, this is where Bottas on fresh soft tyres in a Mercedes is going to be right on the back of me here. But again, I'm just going to find out where these guys are best at attacking and use that to my advantage. Charles Leclerc is gaining around about 2 seconds a lap on me at the moment, but on we go now. As you can see, Bottas here using his pace in the Mercedes to come on through, literally barges past me there as Charles once again sets another new fastest lap. For us though, we're going to try and attack Bottas once again in towards the bus stop chicane. Can we go for it in towards the chicane? We have a look here on Bottas. It's a bit rash there, but we don't get the position, but we decided to switch ourselves up and try again now. But we have got DRS crucially though on this occasion here versus Valtteri Bottas towards La Source. Bottas goes defensive to the middle of the circuit, not the full width of it though, and we go back down the inside into La Source and regain second place in the race. But we get a warning for a collision there with Bottas, but now we are in trouble because Bottas is going to come at me here, coming at me towards Eau Rouge actually, and he gets the positioning towards Eau Rouge there. Not quite as spectacular as for the likes of Mark Webber in 2011 or Kimi Raikkonen on Schumacher in 2012, because he's pretty much got the move done before we even got to the corner. But he has got DRS on this straight, and that's really helping him out. But I'm just going to use Rich Mixture and overtake, and I'm going to go around the outside here on Bottas. Bottas clips the curb there. I had to take a second jab at the steering because Bottas got unsettled there on the corner, but we do get the place here versus Valtteri, and now we can start saving up our battery for our next assault. But you can see here that the fuel is running low, the battery is running low. Hamilton now has all of a sudden got past Valtteri, Bottas and all of that. So James has clearly got onto the radio to Bottas and said, Valtteri, it's James, and has given some team orders there. Hamilton now goes towards the outside line, in towards the chicane here, and on that occasion, I'm not going to let that one happen. And critically, I decided to let the two of them have a bit of a scrap. So now Bottas and Hamilton can have a bit of a fight. You guys carry on, and I'll go and cement P2. Is that okay, guys? Meanwhile, at the front, though, Charles Leclerc now 23 seconds clear, showcasing how far away he's got from lap, I think it was 17 that he pitted. We're now on lap 22. The gap was 5 seconds. It's now 22 seconds. Yeah, those soft tyres are pretty powerful. But for us, though, I'm still holding station here at the front. I'm using my final bit of fuel that I've got, my last bit of battery on this straight. Here comes Valtteri now in the Mercedes. He goes to the outside here. Hamilton's going to go to the inside. That's going to compromise me, but we go on through. I think Bottas locked up there in towards Lecom. Just didn't quite carry the speed that I thought he would. Hamilton's been held up a bit. There's a yellow flag now between one of the Mercedes cars, and that's Valtteri Bottas, so he got a problem there. So that's probably why he went off on the earlier occasion in towards Lecom. So something's gone wrong with that Mercedes car. I don't know what it is, though. Is it a puncture? Is it front wing damage? No, it's a terminal failure. And on the last lap of the race here, Valtteri Bottas is out of the Belgian Grand Prix, which is an absolute shame for him. He was doing such a great job beating Lewis Hamilton all race long, really, and he got pole position as well. So yeah, that's really quite a big kick in the teeth there. Meanwhile, for us, though, we're now saving up fuel and saving up our battery. I don't know why I'm running no ERS at this stage. I've got 40% battery. I could run hot lap to the end and be fine. But I'm now using everything here because I've still got Lewis Hamilton to defend against here. We run it up into hot lap here. Charles Leclerc wins the Belgian Grand Prix. But for us, though, our second place is still under threat because Hamilton now is coming at us very, very quickly here in towards Blanchimont now. It's going to be side by side, just about holding it. Around the outside here, Hamilton though still alongside me into the bus stop chicane. We brake just a little bit earlier. That allows us to get the better flow in towards the chicane. No more opportunities for Lewis Hamilton. We come across the line. Low fuel mode is active at this stage, and we cross the start-finish line for an epic second place at the Belgian Grand Prix. All down to pure strategy and, well, luck really. Obviously, as you can see there, it is another win though for Charles Leclerc. I believe he won at at Hungary last time around as well. Or was that Vettel that won? No, I think Seb won. I can't remember, to be honest. But Charles Leclerc with another great win for this season for the Ferrari driver. But for us, crucially, like I said though, it was just down to pure luck. When we transitioned, obviously, from wet to dry, of course, we had that phase where Vettel and Hamilton both got held up. So that, Charles Leclerc's front wing there is taking a bit of a pounding. Yeah, we obviously benefited due to the fact that obviously we had those guys getting held up in the pits. And then when I actually initiated my strategy, my team said, when we were going on to the dries, that we have got to go from soft tyres to mediums. And I agreed with what the team said. So in terms of my strategy, you can see there, look, I did a 2-stop and it worked fine. And in terms of who I need to thank for the strategy, well, I've got to thank the team for it because the team suggested I go to soft tyres and then I go on to a set of mediums to the end. I decided to acknowledge that, and it paid off massively. In the Drivers' Championship then, we're on 124 points now, and we're trying to pull away from Red Bull, and we're doing just exactly that. Constantly beating them week in, week out, which is what we need to do. In the Constructors' Championship as well then, we now hold a 35-point lead over Racing Point now, which is great.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
My strategy was the car and why I tried luck.
Would you say that your rival is still on your level?
No, because he has like 10 points and I have 150. No.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
Mercedes and Ferrari, because they're faster than me.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
Didn't dampen my spirits. I'm a comedy genius.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And there we go then. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for my F1 2019 career mode video for you guys here at the Belgian Grand Prix. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really does mean a lot to me, the support that we get on the videos. We obviously beat Lando Norris in the rivalry as well, which is great. I think that's the second time we've beaten him now. Yeah, that is going to be it for me today. Next up is going to be the Italian Grand Prix. Hopefully our engine upgrades come to show at that race. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen in the future races. But guys, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys for the next race. Thank you very much.